What up, world? Peace to the planet. It's your boy, man. It's been a minute. Like I said, man, I plan on giving y'all a few of these, some videos and shit, you know what I mean? Things just to think about. You know what I mean? It's just my thoughts. Y'all better not laugh at me, man. I think I ate something I was allergic to, so my eyes swelling. If my fucking face swell up on this video, y'all better not laugh at me, man. But yo, man, this one here, man, I call it the Coon Check. Right? This the Coon Check, man. My eye, like I said, my eye feel like it's swelling up, but my third eye is still sharp though. You know what I mean? And I gotta build like the people with some sense, you know? When you got sense, you viewing things through a clear lens. Meaning that you can look at something, analyze it, and see it for what it truly is and not what it's presenting itself to be, you know? So in this instance, for the Coon Check, right? You're gonna check yourself first, right? We're gonna check ourselves to see if we coons, right? Now, right? A lot of people, when they putting labels on people, most of us speak English, right? Like I'm speaking English right now, and I could have done this video in another language, but when you're speaking English, right, you're using English to define or to describe what it is you're trying to say or what it is, to convey the message you're trying to get across. So we can bring about an understanding, right? Like that everybody supposed to see at least the overall picture. We might have it in different views, but the overall picture should still be the same. Like the understanding, the moral, the principle, the outcome, you know what I mean? And I remember one of my homies told me something that I never forget, man. And he said it ain't about the income, it's the outcome, right? How it get there, how it happens usually doesn't matter for the outcome, right? I mean, it doesn't matter as much as the outcome. Let me clarify. So in this instance, for these coons, right, we're gonna check ourselves to see if we coons, right? Coons, somebody who will defend, make excuse for, or justify the abuse of his own, well, usually black case, right, in case of black people, to justify the demeaning and degradation of the culture of his own people. So now in this instance, man, today we got Floyd Mayweather, right? It's just so many of it too. It's so much of these people, right? And that's why like this video is so crazy, because like at some point, which point do you wake up and say, yeah, you know what? It's not them, it's me. You know what I mean? So again, back to self-reflection and doing the knowledge of self, getting to know yourself. You got to ask yourself, are you the coon? Are you justifying it? What are the words you saying? Are you making excuses for it? Are you saying, yes, I'ma still buy Gucci, I'ma still buy Prada, Floyd Mayweather is still the greatest, R. Kelly's a genius, Any of those things are defenses, justifications, excuses. If you say something like, oh, to a female, oh, you look beautiful for a dark-skinned female, for a dark-skinned girl, that's a disrespect. You look good for a dark-skinned girl, as implying that dark-skinned women don't look good. Or if it's a fat woman and you say you look good for a big girl, then that's a disrespect. Same thing goes if Gucci puts out blackface as a campaign, an ad, right? I am advertising this. I am promoting this to you. When you put that face on an object or a person or anything, you are promoting it. And by promoting it, you lose the power to control how it's received. You put it out there. So by you putting it out there, you actually put it out there and leave it for somebody, for anyone to interpret. Now some people I know say, yeah, well, that's the way you take it, and that's your viewpoint, and you know, your view is limited. Your views are shaped by your past, your history, and direction you want to go in. So in this instance, if you're promoting that blackface and you're making an excuse for it, you are essentially saying F the black people and F all the history, the stuff in the past. Fuck the ancestors, fuck all the rape, torture, years of oppression, centuries. Now, let me just set the record straight too, because yes, you know, everybody has a right to it, right? You human, you have a right to say fuck everybody and fuck you, fuck yourself and all of that, right? But you also, everyone else has a right to their reaction to it as well. So take for instance, you know, we were saying the Floyd Mayweather case, right? This guy is rich beyond his means, right? Rich. He'll never lose that money. He'll never spend that much money. Still making money. But there's a thing called cognitive dissonance, you know? Cognitive dissonance is when you have a belief system that's inconsistent, such as, I'm a Christian and I read the Bible. The Bible says Jesus has skin of bronze, hair like wool. The cognitive dissonance is that you would attend a church that has a white picture, but then justify it by saying it doesn't matter. It has to matter because it's in the book. It has to matter. So to even say it, you could feel it, but to say it makes it a real belief. Now, this is part of your belief system. This becomes part of the way you approach things, part of the way you view things, and ultimately the outcome of how things will be. So the biggest coon check is that if you are black, right, and you have a right to feel that way, like I said, but essentially and ultimately you're saying it's okay for somebody to say fuck you. Now again, like I said, you got the right to that, but you're just one person. Floyd Mayweather is just one person versus the billions that have already died. Now you put that one person versus the billions, come on, does it make sense? He doesn't make sense, irrelevant. D.L. Hughley. D.L. Hughley, another one, cognitive dissonance. You can't fight, you can't feel hatred or disgust for injustice, police brutality, but feel that Liam Neeson was justified in coming forward with his thoughts or what he planned on doing. This is a racially motivated hate crime that he plotted to carry out. Anybody else would be charged with a conspiracy. Anybody else would be charged with a conspiracy. Now, you see the cognitive dissonance? You see the contrary or contradictive belief system? Inconsistent belief system. You got Kodak Black from the South, from Miami, Florida. One of the most racially discriminatory states in our history. And he says, I'm still gonna buy it. Fuck y'all. Now you could say fuck you, but you can't say fuck the rest of us. You just one motherfucker. Just one person. That shit don't mean nothing. So again, I say, we checking ourselves. Like we the ones who responded. It's up to us not to have that response, not to care, not to give a about them. You know what I mean? Look, I just not curse after I cursed 1,000 times. But at the end of the day, man, like, at the end of the day, you know, the onus is on the people. The people is what drive the culture, what move the needle, what set the bar, what set the standard. We are the people, the regular people, the people that, you know, are not millionaires, billionaires, going to work, everyday people, the modern people. You know, who else? There's so many of them. Prada, Spike Lee. You got Spike Lee calling for a 3-month boycott. How are you gonna speak for the billions of people that I mentioned, the ancestors, the people that have died, the people that are affected, that are still affected today by this stuff? You don't get to speak for them. You don't get to speak for them, man. Y'all really twisting the game. That's not even how it goes. The people that support these companies, that support these rappers, these artists, these filmmakers, these you know, these athletes, you know, it's up to us. It's our responsibility who we place our idolation and worship upon, you know? You see, if it's not self-orientated, then, or you know what I mean, or self-motivated, then what's the point? Essentially, you're gonna get to that point, but still have the lost person that you were from the beginning. You could change who you are. That's what Hov said. You could change who you are, but that's just the top layer. But you was who you was before you got here. You can't change that. And just because you have $1 million or $1 billion and you don't get pulled over, you don't go through the injustices that the rest of us go through, you still black. That's what makes it fuck you. And you okay with saying fuck you, then by all means, man, go ahead. That's you. But that's not the rest of us, man. Those of us with sense, we gotta use our brains. We gotta use our brains. It's up to us to stand up, take a stand, and not support that. Not support those products. There's always black alternatives. There's always black alternatives. There's always ways to fight back. There's ways to get our point across, you know. Another point I want to touch on is the boycotts, right? There's a lot of people saying, you know, the boycotts don't matter, you know. You know, they don't work. You know, there's nothing gonna get accomplished, right? Listen, I hear you. I don't agree, but I do hear you. But born you truth, as they say, moving forward, right? That's a statement. Whether true, fact, or whatever you want to say, it's just a statement. It doesn't help. It's not getting anything accomplished. It's actually counterproductive. If you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. And saying that it doesn't work is part of the problem. They do work. They just don't work to your bitch ass. So the boycotts are not to, the purpose of the boycott is not to end or destroy anything, right? It's to show a solidarity, you know, a form of solidarity that we stand together. That when they do it to one, they doing it to all of us. It's not about how much we can destroy or how much we can take over, you know. These are just baby steps. These baby steps lead to, you know, steps or building blocks to our unity. You bring them together and you find one common cause, right? And that common cause is that we're all black. All of us are black, whether you call yourself black or not. That doesn't matter. Just because you call yourself a Dominican, a Puerto Rican, an African, Nigerian, Egyptian, Asian, whatever it is you call yourself, that's what you call yourself. But mathematically and scientifically, you can only be black. There's no such thing as a mixture. There's no such thing as none of that. It's just another form of black. It's just another form of black. It comes from black, therefore it is black. That is it. It is simple as that. When you say things like I'm Puerto Rican or I'm Dominican, those are origins, like lands, like, you know, cultures. They don't define who you are. It limits you to that land and that history. But your history is a lot deeper than that. And this is why it's so important for people to come together, because together we're actually more powerful. And you understand why other people have been able to accomplish the oppression that they've been able to accomplish. This is accomplished by division. Divide and conquer. If they divide us, then you continuously have an enemy. But if you're together, then you have the same common goal. Thinking has to be the first and most primary thing. Like, that has to be the foundation of everything. It's how everything has to begin and end. It's before the beginning and after the end. You have to be thinking. You have to be looking at it, seeing it from another angle, and not just settling for the outcome that you see. With that, man, I'm going to end this one, man, and I'm going to say peace, man. And if you a coon, man, check yourself and get out that coon trap mental, that coon mind state, that triple stage dark